Okay, so we're back, and this time, as you can tell, this is kind of a different place. This is actually one of my more common runs. It's just that this year I haven't run it that much. So I'm coming back to an old familiar run. Forget your sunscreen. This is Rio Hondo, and it is about 96 degrees, 95, 96 maybe. I'll check later. I'll put it up there. It's pretty hot. Yeah, it's very hot. I brought 700 milliliters as my usual, with extra electrolyte added, extra salt basically. Behind me is the North Run, and if you look behind me that way is the South Run, or behind me is the South Run. We're heading north because, as I said, since I don't want to wear sunglasses, and I know I probably should, but running north, I won't be looking at the sun for the next hour, and it will be a little darker by then. Well, no, I'm still going to get full sun, so it'll make a minor difference, but it will at least, So, and apart from that, one of the things I wanted to also cover was just, the thing is, I've been thinking about one thing that most people don't actually appreciate about themselves, and it's not only that, but it partly explains some small amount of why I come out here and I do these crazy things. I mean, come on, who the hell's going to run in 95 degree weather? I mean, it's like you're asking for death. That's what people tell me. I don't feel that way. I feel that the chances that I'm coming back from this run are 99.9%. Okay, so I just crossed the mile. I actually saw another runner coming back, which is always encouraging. But as I said, one of the things that people will sometimes look at me and like, oh my God, you're hardcore. I wouldn't do that. Or you're crazy. Why are you running in 98 degree weather? And the thing is, one of the things that motivates me is just the very fact that I can. But you need to really sit back. Most people don't really sit back and seriously think about what their body is capable of. It's so superficial just to tell you that I can. So I'm trying to take you there. So, when most of us look at cars, you look at a Toyota or a Honda. In fact, these cars take us so far. They can survive hot temperatures. And they can carry us around in comfort. And then if you ever talk to an actual automotive engineer, check out some of those YouTube channels where they talk about some of the automotive engineering. And you're just like, oh my God, just the amount of brain power and engineering that went into making a lawnmower engine is mind-boggling. For an entire car, no single human has the capacity. It has to be teams and teams of hundreds of humans, not merely engineering the engine. See, we only look at the engine. We don't realize that there's manufacturing processes that have to also be engineered. Entire systems around this, entire cultures grow up to engineer that silica that never breaks down on you. Or you look at a Mercedes, a very expensive one, you're like, wow, these things just feel so like somebody just made them for me. And we don't appreciate how much, not just effort. You can put all the effort you want, you won't build something like that. But rather accumulated experience. There are thousands of years of accumulated experience behind any one of those cars. As a matter of fact, we see this going on right now with the electric cars. Tesla It's getting, they're big in the business, but they lack the experience and the culture and the machinery and the environment to build vehicles that are as reliable. And that, despite the fact that electric cars, in principle, should be more reliable because they've got fewer parts. And yet, go check out the statistics. Teslas are amongst the cars that have the most problems. This bridge here has engineering that itself is the accumulation of thousands of years of knowledge. Now, all of that absolutely pales. It is a grain of sand in comparison to the incredible, mind-bogglingly, absolutely humbling level of engineering each one of these has. Our bodies put all of this shit to shame. I was almost going to compare it to like a child's toy, a bouncing ball. Comparing our machines to bouncing balls. Honestly, the bouncing ball. Way simpler. Our machines are way simpler for us. Way simpler. And the real tragedy is that most of us live our lives offensively ignorant of the incredible machine that we're only borrowing temporarily. These machines, excuse my bad language, but fuck a Mercedes, fuck an airplane, fuck the fastest computer in the world. Our machines, I need you to understand just how much more incredible the engineering is of our machines than all the fucking technology. And until you can feel it in your bones, your priorities ain't right.
Lot 2, 952, heart rate 133.
Yes, our machines, most of you know this on a superficial level. That's not good enough. You need to be able to feel just the vastness in engineering that went into our bodies versus what goes into all our very best machines. The Large Hadron Collider is considered one of the most amazing bits of engineering. And trust me, I'm a fan of that thing. The lizard or the squirrel, I'm a fan of it. And yet it is, maybe that is a bouncing ball compared to us. We have the most expensive, most incredible machine, and yet we don't appreciate it. Our machine has secrets to reveal. Secrets we don't know about. Most of us are too fucking afraid. Not lazy. Everyone's lazy, we're lazy. We're afraid. Taking just a little step. Not two big steps, because we all think it's big steps. No, just little steps. We only want to take a little step. Open your eyes to how amazing this machine is.
Lap 4, 919, heart rate 139.
Was that 135 or 139? 139, too fast. So, I thought I'd share with you an episode of Star Trek that might bring this example home. Of course, many of you probably haven't seen it, so I'll try to explain it as best as I can. But I feel like here's the message. It's the next generation, and in it, Worf, the Klingon, discovers that a number of his people are imprisoned in a Romulan prison. And the thing is that for Klingons, to die as prisoners is shameful. To them, the best way to die is in war, in battle. Dying peacefully is a shame. And so he wanted to either liberate them, or not necessarily kill them, but at least liberate them so that they could go and fight and die during battle. And when he reaches there, they've been like prisoners for 20 years. And many of them have grown docile. And the Romulan captors, kind of like they all coexist. It's like they're their captors, but as you can imagine, for somebody who's been in prison 20 years, they're no longer that separated from each other. And so, Worf takes this one young Klingon, and this Klingon is like what you would almost imagine like a vegetarian Klingon, in that he doesn't believe in war, doesn't believe in fighting for glory. All these things are foreign to him. He finds them disgusting. And so Worf one day takes him out on a hunt. And this young Klingon, as he's on the hunt, the adrenaline pumps in his ears and his head. It starts to consume him. The feeling, Worf tells him, listen, smell. And the main idea he's conveying here is that this young Klingon, despite whatever he has learned, whatever he's been socialized, there's something genetic deep down that isn't completely gone. And it awakens in him this natural hunter within him. And it's almost amazing his transformation. As I said, he was like a vegetarian. But the thirst for blood consumes him all of a sudden. He wants this. It almost makes him lose control. He smells the blood. And he feels like a predator. Something that he's never, ever considered. Genetic inheritance, I guess. I don't explain it as well as the episode does, so go check it out. I'm going to post it up there. But this is why when some people run, it hurts. You gotta give yourself half a chance. I mean, you spent decades getting there. At least give yourself a few years. For most people, a year is enough. Most people aren't patient enough to wait a year. Most people want to discover that inner Klingon in one shot. It's not going to happen 98% of the time. You're going to have to be patient. But if you're patient, your inner runner, your inner athlete will come out. Promise you that. And what's more important for that, the reason I use the Klingon example is because once we start to discover him or her, there's no going back. When that young Klingon discovered what he was capable of, you could see it in his eyes. He was never going back to what he was. It didn't mean that he was going to become some awful predator. He just knew his nature. Once you're in nature, you can better understand some things about yourself. Many of you may not understand certain maladies you may have until you work out. I don't know. I can tell you for myself. Just like everybody else, I've got problems in life. But I think for many of us, those problems are to some extent just in our head. This is not to say that we are crazy. No, far from it. The problem is real. Its effect is real. What I say is that in some cases, 50% or maybe more of our suffering is imagined. We suffer out of proportion.
9:51. Heart rate 138.
Okay. We suffer out of proportion to the problem. And that's just bad. That's my point. That we don't. And somehow working out. Good job, guy. Somehow working out will burn down some of that anxiety so that the problems aren't going to go away. But you'll realize you didn't have to suffer as much. And you don't have to meditate yourself out of them. Although, again, meditation's great. As a matter of fact, well, I'll talk about it later, but sometimes running can be a form of meditation. But it's in our nature. We have those genes as athletes and runners. Here we are, 10.25. Oh, Jesus. Oh, okay. Oh, here, you get to see the river. Here's the well, it tastes good. It tastes awful. Actually, it tastes awful. This time it's just water with salt and a little bit of potassium citrate. Actually, of the potassium citrate is the least disgusting. Potassium chloride is the worst. That one is bad, but potassium is not. But still, just heavy salt and potassium. Nevertheless, let's go ahead and start our cool down. Of course, what a crazy day to try, right? On 95-degree weather, but at least I managed it. My pulse though was high. Well, I don't think my pace was that fast, but then that's obvious. Yes, I know. It's the hot weather, of course. I feel more tired. I always feel tired, but I don't know. Well, at least I finished it. But hopefully I did impress on you just how amazingly engineered our bodies are. When I come out here and I see this, you will excuse me if I don't. If I think that even the most amazing machines are crap compared to the machines each one of us has. And we only have them for a short while. And then we return to dust. It's like having a Ferrari and then having it garaged all the time. And maybe an investor might be like, well, I garage it so that I'll say, okay, fine. But imagine if you garaged it and never did anything with it until it just broke down. It's kind of what we do with our bodies. We have these amazing, incredibly engineered machines. Ferraris are freaking Enterprise starships. I could do Warp 9 if we gave them a chance. So, give yours a chance. Start slow. Give it a chance. You've spent decades not giving it. Now give it a chance. And watch it fly you to places you never thought possible.